We ready to go?
No.
No? Okay. So we're going to sit here, guys, until John is ready. I hope you fetch some snacks. I can wait.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the...
John is like the slow-mo version of Captain America.
I can do this all day.
Yeah. Right. Well, tough, John. I've decided we're going to go. Right. We're on chapter 18, which I think means we are down to 3 chapters left. 3? Something like that. And I'm actually shocked we're getting through this fairly quickly. The group sets off in search of Grado's elusive Imperial Prince Leon. Ines has ordered Freljin troops to aid in the hunt. The troops return with news that Leon has moved north. The group's search for Leon leads them down to Mount Nelaris, in the heart of Darkling Woods. The scorching heat and sulphur stench render the area unfit for human habitation. Endless numbers of Gorgon eggs stud the forbidding landscape.
I mean, they kind of look like testicles, but...
I mean, you're the one to know from your Digimon playthrough where one of your Digimon evolved into a single testicle.
It really did look that way.
Yeah. Not just a single testicle, but it also... Do you remember Altered Beast, those little orange things that appeared in the later levels and stuck on your head?
Yep.
Yeah. La Rachelle, may I ask your advice?
What is it, Erica? There's no need to be so formal.
It's about Leon! My brother was right. Leon's been possessed by the Demon King. He's no longer the Leon I once knew. But I can't help feeling there must be some way to bring him back. Please help me, La Rachelle. I want to save him. Rouston is the spiritual heart of Magvel. They keep the ancient law. You're their princess. You must know something about the demons of legend. Is there anything that can save Leon?
To the best of my knowledge, there is no way to aid him.
That can't be! There must be something. Any clue, no matter how slight.
Our oldest legend tells us just this. Only one person has ever been able to shake off the Demon King's domination. Rouston's founder, Saint Latona the Sure-Hearted, shattered his fetters. If one possesses a strength of will that is beyond that of normal men... only then can one throw off the shackles of the Demon King. But you saw it for yourself, Erica, with your own 2 eyes. Your friend Leon's body has already been claimed by the Demon King. Once it's gone that far, there's nothing that can be done. When the Demon King takes over someone, he devours his spirit, his very soul. Even if his hold on Leon's body could be released, that body would have no soul. There is no power in Rouston, not even the sacred stone, that can perform so great a miracle as to restore a shattered soul.
Leon!
Erica, I understand how you feel, but the prince is gone. The Leon you knew no longer exists.
Many great pits, but none more bottomless than the bottomless pit, which as you can see here is bottomless.
It's more important now that you care for yourself. If we pursue the Demon King, we're likely to suffer for it. I want you to return to Rouston Palace and rest yourself.
Thank you, La Rachelle. However, I must stay with the company. I have to believe there's something I can do to help him.
You gotta do what? I gotta believe!
Leon was always so kind. He wanted nothing more than to help people. It's too terrible to picture him imprisoned by the Demon King. Imprisoned! With no hope of salvation. This way! The enemy went into the recesses of the valley.
A few moments later.
I am going to say, let's press the button and go. I don't care about the positioning. We've got this whole spindly map.
Yeah,
Look at
very
this.
spindly.
There's only 28 enemies because apparently these tiny eggs don't count.
Huh. Oh, there's a Medusa.
There is a Gorgon. So, there's apparently something on this map where you can manipulate and steal something over and over again. But I don't remember the trick, and I don't remember how it's done.
Okay.
So, let's have a quick look.
This is
I kind of wish
basically a
I'd
League
fetched...
of Legends map, by the way. All of these characters, these monster characters, are characters in League of Legends.
What, the eggs?
So the flying eyeballs with arms, that's Vel'Koz. That guy is basically Cho'Gath. and then there's a Gorgon character whose name escapes me right now, but there's one in there. So you're fighting against the Riot machine right now, Gareth.
I mean, as I said earlier, I have considered playing a League of Legends adjacent game. Easy for me to say, yeah? This map is just going to be annoying because every couple of turns it's just going to spit out enemies, isn't it?
Probably.
We have...
I mean, having some flying units would have been useful in this one, wouldn't it?
We do have one.
The little dragon girl, Mia.
We've got one in this team, but we did have another one available to us in Serene.
Oh,
but,
yeah. You haven't killed her yet. Good
no,
job, by the way.
Not yet. I mean, to be fair, John, you've joined me in accidentally murdering children today, so...
Wow. I mean, that could have been taken the wrong way. Luckily, nobody on here would have done so, but... Yeah, I mean, I streamed some Digimon Survive today, which is like 95% visual novel game and like 5% strategy RPG at this point.
Yeah.
Which is very annoying for me. Yeah, things did not go well, and you know what? I need to look up what the actual age rating for that game is, because one of my charges died today.
Yeah.
Press F in the chat.
John did not press F in his chat. John loved it.
Yeah, that guy was totally annoying. He kept screaming for his mommy.
Well, that's what Dozler thinks of this guy.
Ah, so just looked, there's a glitch you can use to repair the Dragonstone, which apparently can't be repaired by Hamon.
Hamon? Is this a JoJo's reference?
But apparently it's way more trouble than it's worth.
Okay, seems legit. Let's kill this egg.
The poor, helpless testicle.
I mean, to be fair, we did just use the fire spell on it, so really we just fried some eggs.
Yeah. Just like Tifa said, we're going to smash them.
Just going to smash it up. I love how she's going to have to use rapier twice.
Oh, you leveled up, though. That's
yep.
Good.
Great lord.
Yep. Some valuable experience in smashing this immovable object.
Yep. I showed you who was the boss of eggs. Right, let's get the support level up quickly. We're not doing the voice acting for this. I just want to do the map.
Good.
Because, let's face it, some of the character that occurs in this game is everyone is like a flat image of a personality, right? Unlike some of the later games.
I mean, I'm just reading some of the stuff in here. This is terrible.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Okay. I mean, from a technical standpoint, this game looks great. But, you know, things have definitely moved on from this particular style of storytelling. Thank God.
I mean, this is surely a conversation that you can fetch up in multiple episodes of your new podcast that you've started.
Oh, is that how we're doing? I mean, I did think about like pivoting from the Tifa Final Fantasy VII quote, but yeah, I have started a podcast with Sean Hoost in the chat there, and Dark
Hoost in chat.
Yeah, we spent our first episode on Final Fantasy VII. We figured we'd go for something that people might know. Sorry, I'm just looking at the giant death ball here. How's that going to deal with that?
I was like, and have you seen how far away they are on the screen?
Yeah, that's interesting. That seems really fair.
Seems legit, as the kids would say.
Yeah. But yeah, we're using our time to make a little podcast looking at games that normally they're all RPGs that we all love, and we're going back to them, playing through them, or in my case, playing very little through them because I've had a busy week. That's not to say that the others didn't have a busy week. It's just that I was quite busy.
Yeah. John's basically saying that you guys have nowhere near the amount of responsibility that he does, and that you've got all this free time to play video games.
I mean, compared to Alex, I have a lot more to do. I cannot say that for sure because he already like has multiple children to look after, so that's way more than I have to deal with. But anyway, we're taking this opportunity to like look at games that we like. Maybe some of the games that normally wouldn't get looked at by other podcasts. So the episode 2, which should be out in the next couple of weeks, we'll be looking at a NES game called Sweet Home, which, interestingly enough, is actually the predecessor to Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Which is weird to think about. It actually has some of the things that Resident Evil has. You can definitely see that the work that's gone into getting from this particular game on the NES to where Resident Evil ended up. I mean, it even has some of the same animations with the, you know, how the doors are made into loading screens. Well, you didn't have loading screens on the NES, but you still had that animation of the door slowly and creepily opening.
Yeah.
It's very cool to see that, actually. Obviously, it doesn't look quite as good, but although saying that, the PlayStation 1 version of the game doesn't look that great anymore, does it? So
no. I mean, did you know it was actually a film as well? Sweet Home.
That would make sense. I mean, the box art kind of looks like it's basically just been ripped off the posters.
Yeah.
So that would make a lot of sense.
It's kind of like a Japanese horror B-movie in a very sort of like slasher style.
Oh, okay.
Because when you mentioned it, I've never heard of this game, but when someone was like it was a Resident Evil spiritual successor, I was curious. Miss, to see what it was. And there's some cool stuff, and I can, because it's only Japanese and it's English translated on ROM, right?
Yeah.
Oh no.
I mean, there's not a lot of stuff that needs to be translated, so I can see why it happened. There's like little notes that get left behind in blood and, you know, just on note paper and stuff. And it's definitely going for that creepy vibe. I mean, the graphics kind of let it down, stopping it from being actually creepy.
Yeah.
Because it just comes across as a little bit laughable when you compare it to something like, I don't know, Resident Evil Village or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, Resident Evil Village is kind of laughable in its own regard. Because
but it still has jump scares that actually work. Whereas this, one of the enemies that you come up across is basically a little doll. It's just an evil doll. And the game has the Jaws theme play whenever like you enter a random attack, a random encounter. Sorry.
Yeah.
And it's just. So I wasn't sure what I was getting into. The first character that I had to fight against was this evil doll, and I wasn't sure what kind of combat there would be in the game. So when the Jaws theme plays, and then I see this tiny little evil doll appear, I was like, "What the hell is all this?" Like I wasn't mentally prepared for, you know, a blatant rip-off of this very famous film, followed by this creepy little doll that's just in the middle of that took like 2 hits and then it was dead. It was kind of weird. But anyway, that's sort of the, you know... what I will say for anyone in chat, Alex and Hoost are a lot more coherent than I am. I'm basically there because I have a little bit of a following, and I can do intros because I have a bit of an intro sort of voice. They are a lot better at podcasting than I am. Yeah. So don't let this bumbling give you any sort of indication as to the quality of the podcast. It's a lot better than what I make out.
I work with competent human beings that aren't me.
Pretty much. I rely on them.
I mean, how did we successfully run stuff?
Well, that was kind of the problem, wasn't it? The first couple of episodes, I've gone back to it and listened to it, the podcast that we did. It sounds fine.
Yeah.
The problem was that we kind of made it too hard for ourselves. So we had our podcast going out once a week, and very quickly found that we didn't have
once a week
enough
time
stuff
available
to fill an entire episode every week. So when we were talking about doing this new thing, I very quickly said, let's make it once every 2 weeks because it's just easier that way. And I think Alex and Sean would agree with me that that's probably the best move to do with that kind of thing.
Let's have a look.
Am I right in saying that you're able to climb this sort of... It looks like it should be like a cliff or something, but you can move up it?
Yeah, I think it's meant to try and... The art style is trying to give you the idea of a gradient with some of the shadowing stuff.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a hill, right?
Yeah.
It just looks like a sharp cliff, though.
Yeah. I mean, if you want... Is it Murakami Cliff from Famicom Detective Club?
No.
Everyone's favourite cliff?
No, it is not.
The issue I have is this is lava and people are taking fire damage.
I noticed, yeah.
But
it is actually worth you doing it because you're getting rid of some of the enemies, aren't you?
Yeah. So it might be Ephraim's turn to take a little bit of fire damage. Oh, it's Erica, sorry, not Ephraim. To kill this egg before it becomes a Gorgon and starts trying to, like, blitz me from the other side of the map.
Yeah.
That is annoying. Because, right, let's get Ephraim here.
Yeah, one of the other things I've been up to, the reason why I've been so busy recently, I put a video out on YouTube asking the question, are strategy RPGs a dead-end genre?
Yeah.
Which has gone down about as well as you'd expect.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be a discussion piece.
Yeah.
And it's basically one of the first people that looked at it just wrote no in the comments, and everyone's just like, yeah, stick it to the guy. You know, this guy that's put, like, you know, hours into thinking this through and writing a script and writing a coherent argument for my point. And then the guy just looks at it for 10 seconds and goes, no! And everyone's just like, yeah!
So, there's a couple of Facebook RPG groups I'm in, and I posted it, and people were, like, responding to the message, and they were literally just reading the thumbnail description and going, no, or I don't see his point. And it's like, have you watched the video? Please watch the video.
Yeah, no, it just seems like everyone's taking it for... They're not even reading the thumbnail properly. They just think, is it a dead genre?
Yeah.
The dead end is quite important for you to understand that. I mean, you understood it, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've watched the video twice.
Oh, cheers, man.
Like, just because the first time I was like, I had it on while Oscar was around, so every so often I didn't hear it. So the second time I was like, I'll give it a proper, like, listen to, and try and... Sorry, I'm just working out the math there. To try and work it out. And there's some points that you make that I agree with. There's some stuff, like, I would discuss with you, like, you know... I would...
Well, all right, look. So for anyone who's watching this that hasn't seen the video, that's completely fair, by the way. I'm not going to force anyone.
But also...
My argument is that... I recently played through Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions, and it's an amazing game, in my opinion, and is the best strategy RPG ever made. And I started thinking, well, that's kind of depressing since that game came out 15 years ago, and it's a remake of a game that's 25 years old. Yeah. And for that to be the best strategy RPG game ever made is not a nice thing to think about, because it you know, games have come out since then, and they just don't do it as well. And really, for something like the video game business, that shouldn't happen. You know, things should be replaced in terms of quality, whether that be, you know, the writing or the gameplay mechanics or even just the graphics. Well, those three things have never come together quite in the same way that they did for this game. And I just thought that's kind of upsetting, and, you know, should be discussed, really. I mean, I'm more than happy for somebody to come and watch the video and then go, well, actually, I feel like Triangle Strategy that came out this year is actually superior to Final Fantasy Tactics. But nobody's done that. Everyone's just been happy to just you know,
dogpile on.
watch 10 seconds of it and then just go no.
Nah, fam, nah.
That's a cogent argument. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, so it's like a little bit the reception I put towards the Fire Emblem community for this game, and I think we're far enough through this game for me to talk about this point, that Volta should have been the full villain. Like, his personality lends to being aware of, like, the Leon situation and manipulating it to his end. He would probably have used someone like Reeve to get his way. Yeah. Or to, you know, because, like, Reeve in the last chapter talks about, he's aware of Leon's condition, as he refers to it, like your nasty illness. And he's aware of it.
He also gets enough screen time that you actually care what happens to him as well. Which
makes his death in that scorched desert map absolutely annoying for the fact that... Yeah, even if it hits, no damage. Oh, it's not even that, it's stone. Great.
Oh, no! Is there a way to cure that?
I believe so. I think it's one of the rods. Of course you got hit. Less than...
Or is it otherwise, like, that's them dead?
Not really. I don't think they take any damage, but she's...
No, I mean, would they die if you didn't cure them?
Don't think so.
No? Okay.
Not that I'm aware of. Right. Is it worth... loot? Wow. Wow!
No, it is not.
She wouldn't take any damage from any combat, though.
She wouldn't, but she would take damage from being in lava
fire,
for that
turn. I wonder if just giving her a good old Dozzler to the face...
I think this might be the way to go. There we go.
So, she does no damage.
Hit chance.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 68% chance to turn to stone. But she doesn't get the chance.
Yeah. I think we have to map clear this, though. Like, killing the boss doesn't do anything.
You got to get rid of everyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, defeat all enemies. And I can't really use Mia to attack. There you go. Perfect one shot. Ines in his weird purple and aqua colour palette.
Yep.
Steel Axe from Sean Connery.
Indeed.
And he, with a critical.
Dear.
I wonder if, in my head, every so often, I just want Dussel to just be like, there can only be one!
That's a movie I need to get back to at some point. I haven't seen that in forever.
That is a film trilogy that they should have just stopped after the first one. They should have.
Yeah.
Just stop. Please, just stop.
Didn't they bring Sean Connery back for the third one?
I can't remember the third one.
I feel like there's some... I remember reading about it. I haven't actually seen the third one. I'm not even sure I've seen the second one, where he has to sacrifice himself for the Highlander dude, who's played by a different guy. Because is it Christopher Lambert?
Yeah.
In the first one, he doesn't want anything to do with it.
He's in the second one. He's like his appearance in the second one is weird, like really weird.
I mean, Christopher Lambert in general is weird, so that sounds correct.
Raiden, you mean, from Mortal Kombat?
I don't think so.
I mean, like, Highlander 3 is weird, because basically they go from people are just randomly born and they're Highlanders, like they're immortals, to, or it's like something to do with the gods. I can't quite remember. I'm trying to remember a film from like 20 years ago. Or it's more than 20 years old, Highlander. But
so what you're saying is that they changed the script around so it would work better as a multi-film franchise? Weird.
No. They make it worse in the fact that... How would I best describe this? They... Oh, this... Is this fine? Am I willing to make that trade? Right, I can move...
I mean, it's a 45% chance to turn to stone.
Yeah, But they make it so, like, they're aliens from another planet and they get sent randomly. A bit Superman-like, just, like, fired out into space.
Yeah.
And it's just such a weird setup. And then it's like, oh, yeah. And then it's like, oh, yeah, you've got to go back to your home planet now. Like
that dog from The Simpsons?
Yeah, not a million miles away.
Really? Oh my god.
I must leave now. And then they had like the Highlander cartoon as well. I don't know if you remember that, where it was based off Highlander 3, and he's like going around on his weird lizard horse.
Okay.
Because that's what we need.
That's what you do. Yeah.
Yeah, more lizard horse, please. Yeah, it's just such a weird series, and I'm just wondering whether something got lost in translation when they were making the film. And I'm sure someone keeps telling me, and I never remember who it's meant to be, that like the guy who's the voice of SpongeBob is in Highlander.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
But as like one of the Highlander guys.
Okay.
Yeah, it's weird. Film's weird.
Sounds it. Yeah.
It's as weird as you playing a video game that is supposedly the Resident Evil mother.
I mean, you can
Progenitor.
blame Alex for that one. It was his pick.
Are you having a pick a week?
Well, it's not a week; it's every 2 weeks.
Right.
Because we don't want to burn ourselves out.
I mean, it also gives you a chance to play the games if you've never played them and all that jazz.
Yeah. Although I will say that apparently Hooster's already finished Sweet Home.
I mean,
so
it
doesn't seem like the longest game.
It's a 4-hour game, I think, if you know what you're doing.
Oh, maybe he was using a guide. I don't know. I mean, I've played for maybe 2 hours, maybe.
Let's see.
I'm not using a guide, and I'm.
Are you cruising through it? I just want you to enjoy the hit rate of Mir versus this Gorgon.
62. Okay.
Don't tell Alex I watched a long play after the first hour. You're safe in this stream. Alex will be here.
Oh, he. Okay. I didn't realize who. I did wonder how you got through it so quickly. Okay.
I didn't.
I'm doing the actual work. I'm playing through it. I'm suffering through it. It has some interesting ideas, especially for the time. With object permanence and things like that. With like an actual party system that doesn't just appear where you are. Stuff like that.
Right.
Stuff like other RPGs of that time were doing.
Yeah.
It doesn't do that. It actually makes you have everybody there, which I would imagine at the time is quite a feat given the hardware that they were using.
Yeah, I mean, when I think of the Nintendo, I just think of Super Mario Bros. And the official licensed Batman video game and going to a friend's to play it, because I didn't have a Nintendo. So them having like a competent video game system that is trying to like maneuver around multiple. No.
So what was your first Nintendo system then?
First Nintendo system I bought a SNES when they were like quite retro. So I was a Sega boy.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a horrible lie. I had a Game Boy when I was a kid.
I had a Game Boy too, but I don't really count that, if I'm being honest.
I don't count a Nintendo system as a Nintendo system.
No, because it just didn't. It didn't do enough for me. It didn't do what I needed it to do to be counted as a system. Really. I mean, I'm sure the people would be like really upset by that, but sorry. I just don't. I didn't like the Game Boy that much. I mean, I played all the way through Red and Blue Pokemon.
Miss.
Apart from that, like,
God damn it!
The game really didn't do that much for me. The console, rather.
Yeah. Well, this is annoying.
Turn to stone.
So yeah,
Yes.
I used to do a trade system when I was about 9 to 10, with one of my friends, Jim, who currently lives in the States somewhere in Illinois. And he had a Game Boy, and I had what I had basically.
A Game Gear?
No, I had a Master
I had a
System.
Game Gear.
I had
What
a
a
Master
waste of time
System.
that was.
Let's see if I can get Dozzler up here. This should hopefully stop him getting killed from that one. So I had a Master System, and we used to do a trade like every month or so, where I'd borrow his Game Boy, and he'd borrow my Master System for a week. And he had the legendary DuckTales,
Okay.
which was a great game even on the Game Boy. And later on in life, there was a Darkwing Duck game on the Game Boy, which was basically Mega Man.
Huh,
And it was
okay.
made by Capcom.
Ah, okay.
Please don't die. I mean, 100% chance to hit because he's turned to stone. Makes sense. But I ask the eternal question, which will they survive a Dozzler to the face?
Well, that is it, isn't it?
That is the big question. Forget Who Wants to Be a Millionaire or the $64,000 question. Will they survive a Dozzler to the face? The answer was no. The answer was no. They did not survive a Dozzler to the face. Thank you thank you thank you for playing.
Things, I've been doing recently is trying to keep my daughter like emotionally involved in
Pokemon.
what's going on in the house instead of just playing games on her tablet and poopy Roblox all day with her friends. So I decided to try and get her involved in a Nuzlocke on Pokemon.
Right.
Pokemon X. And I read up on it and then got told basically that I should probably play through Pokemon X before doing a Nuzlocke.
Right.
And getting into it, that's probably a good idea. Since, I mean, I would imagine that there are probably Nuzlocke guides out there that sort of like tell you what to look out for and stuff.
Well, the thing is, though, is there's what you want versus what you get, though, isn't it? That's the joys of the Nuzlocke. Is like, yeah, you want a Floatzel, but did you get one as the first Pokemon that you met on the road?
No, I just mean, like, in terms of a guide, the thing I would want is basically, okay, you're going to fight this guy, he's going to have this, this, and this.
Yeah.
These are the things you should watch out for. Like, a guide like that would be really handy.
Yeah,
so that
like
you go into it blind.
Knowing what the like Elite Four may have, and
yeah, because I mean, I've watched a couple of these things now, and the way that the people doing them have talked is like, well, I knew that this Pokemon had such and such an ability, so I counted that with this ability. I feel like a guide that basically told you those things so that you wouldn't have to do all this research beforehand would be super helpful.
Yeah, but again, like with a Nuzlocke, it's all well and good having that. Yeah, apparently Hoost is telling me that we should make Dozzler a beast by giving him all the secret books in the inventory so he has like massively improved accuracy.
I mean, that's not a bad idea, but isn't he also like an axe user? And axe users are famously terrible in these games, right?
Apparently in this run, if your name is Dozzler, it's enough to carry you through. You know what I mean? It's basically like having the surname Kardashian. He's got nothing but his sweet body and powerful axe-handling skills that are going to get him to the finish line. I mean, look at him kissing his bicep there in this animation.
Oh,
he knows what he's on about.
Welcome to the gun show, yeah.
Hang on. Oh, we can move Seth now.
Savage on you then.
Yeah. We can move people now, so it's only for a couple of turns. 2 more turns of Petrify.
Oh, so it actually wears off?
Yup.
Oh, okay then. It's interesting how each game does, like, Petrify different.
Yeah. And Sean Connery is going to miss with a 95% hit rate.
Oh my gosh.
He was just too fast.
I'll send you to the museum.
Anyway. Princess Terrible outfit to win it for us.
But yeah, I think a Nuzlocke would be fun.
Yeah.
And my daughter seems to be... Whenever we watch one of those things, she really gets into it, and like if one of the characters dies, she gets upset.
Does she watch the
You know,
Jaden's animation one?
Yes. That's what got her started. That was the first one she saw.
Right. I mean, to be fair, like, this game isn't very hard. And we're kind of... I'm going to use the term Nuzlocke very loosely.
Yes.
But this is really annoying that it's just sort of stood there menacingly.
And yet you cannot... Can Mia not fly over to it?
She could, but she... There you go.
Will she get damaged by the lava?
Yeah, so she'll still get the lava damage.
Well, if you go to her southernmost point, she won't get hit by the lava.
Yeah, but then she can get hit by this. So
will she not survive that?
She still has like teeny tiny 10 health.
Oh, okay.
So Mia is like a counter hitter. She's just a counter hitter all days.
Yeah,
like the glass cannon.
Glass cannon, yeah.
Which in our current situation is irritating.
So, have you never wanted to do a Nuzlocke, Gareth? Or I suppose you're not that massive on the Pokemon games, are you?
I really should play a Pokemon game, and I should finish it. I think I could do a Nuzlocke. I don't think, conceptually, it's not suddenly like, here you go fight God.
No, obviously, but it does... I mean, I've tried to play Pokemon games in the past. In fact, I've tried to play Pokemon Y.
Yeah.
And I get to a certain point and I run out of steam because the mechanics don't change enough to make it worth my while. But having the drawback of if one of your characters loses, then they're dead. They're gone forever.
Yeah.
Those stakes make it a lot more interesting.
So I was playing a game called Nexomon yesterday, which is like a Pokemon Light. Oh, we will talk about Nexomon in a moment.
Okay.
Easy come, easy go. Wait!
Hold, Erica. Don't go anywhere alone.
It's dangerous to go alone. Take this sword. So I press the button. Let's press. Leon's back there! I won't abandon him! Leon? Leon!